So what do we got here, Carl? Well, I'm keeping the chess game in mind here for what angle I'm looking at a bishop at here, taking a pawn or doing a bishop pawn move like a castling, only in chess when you're doing that kind of chess. Well, let's look at the line. What am I trying to tell you? This could be a line of code. This could be a line of programming. This could be a line of code about programming chess. So in the AI kind of autonomous way that works, he's got it nice and clean here to rook, knight, pawn, pawn. Really is what that is. But it would be from this orientation: pawn, pawn, rook, knight, or any combination: queen, king, pawn, pawn, any kind of variable inside of there, and what that represents. To first, you start with the king in programming because it gives you the basic snowflake spin direction of all the other pieces: pawn, bishop, knight. They move in one of those ways, but it's odd in the way that can behave to the program limit. So when you're saying that's the free particle, or that's the normalizable wave function, and the question of time equivalent or equate evolution is, well, between pawn to king or king to pawn, Carl, here on this board. Let's just factor for a moment. You're going to absolutely destroy me by gambits and knowing, again, the gambit prime of designing. I don't need it to run the same simulator, but I had questions. And, realistically, I got the checkmate to what I wanted to do before the total divergence of burning pieces on my AI that I get to do things instead of me having to click buttons. First, I make the autonomous run, we make the black do a thing. That's the gambit. Or sometimes I'm playing from white's perspective or black's perspective. In that way, this is why that's important for that standard, because knowing chess is obviously not just about understanding how the opener of the white move first, because you're the newbie, would be the same as, well, the first time you play black is a standard model inside of there, or depending on how you were taught orientated to that momentum, is going to give you that type of gambit. It's a prime gambit. I would recognize that
Well,
by its standard
ask a little
model
more.
and
Now
give
you
it
could
close
say,
to 1 or close to
look,
0 probability. Do you put it on bishop
certainly the
b4,
limit
or
of this
whatever, if that
function
was the
could
quadrant at the
not be
end
a
gambit,
number, because if it
comparatively
would
to
be
the beginning
a
gambit,
non-zero
of
number,
what pieces, how
the
they're
integral
closely
would
orientated to
diverge.
an
But
entropy, and
maybe
then
there's no
closing off that
limit.
gap for
The wave
phases,
function
open
is
and
so
closed,
crazy that
and
it
then
can be
any variable
integrated, but
kind of goes to
suddenly it
that
has a little
that model of
spike
building it.
and it just doesn't have a normal limit.
You're leaving that on the table
That
in terms of the dollar
could
bills you put in the market
conceivably
in
be the
game of those books.
case. Nevertheless,